What's going on, guys? It's your boy Hatter from the FFL, and we have my good friend here. And a lot of people know him, Mr. John Kuhn, fullback, two-time Super Bowl champion in the building. What's going on, bro?
Hey, how's it going? Glad to jump on with you a little bit and chop it up. This should be fun, Ali.
For sure, man. How you been, bro?
I'm good. I'm good. I can't complain. NFL training camps are kicking off, so
Right.
I'm going to be heading down here to Packers training camp in the next couple days and get the first look of this Aaron Rodgers list Green Bay Packers football team coming up here in 2023.
Right. Amen. I mean, you being good friends with Aaron, man. How do you think he's gonna do, man, in the new team, and what do you think is gonna happen?
I think there's going to be a revitalization of Aaron Rodgers, so to speak. I
Right.
remember towards the end of my career, years 12 and 13, I went to New Orleans, and
Right.
there was a sense of starting over. To
Right.
be 34 years old, which is a dinosaur in fullback age, showing up at New Orleans football camp down there in the Greenbrier in West Virginia,
Right.
you feel like a rookie again, and it
Right.
takes you back, and you're faced with challenges that you haven't faced in over a decade.
Right.
Learning a new playbook,
Right.
assimilating in a locker room with a bunch of new teammates.
Right.
To some extent, trying to reinvent yourself or trying to prove that you're still able to hang with the young guys that are coming in and constantly trying to be that new group in the NFL. So I took it as a challenge. I took it as an energy source, and I think Aaron will as well,
Right.
especially with being right around 40 years old for him, and not being able to get over that hump one last time in Green Bay and get back to a Super Bowl. I think a change of scenery will get him excited. I think a young, fresh group of teammates there in New York will get him excited. I think the different coaching staff. He's got Nathaniel Hackett out there to lean on. But he's got Robert Saleh, who's a defensive-minded coach and can
Right.
really bring a different perspective to him. So I believe he's energized about it. I believe he's excited about it. And I wouldn't put anything past what he and the Jets can accomplish this year.
Right. And obviously, he has all the weapons, right? He got the best release receiver in the whole league, Garrett Wilson, and Brees Hall hopefully coming back healthy. He has all the bits and pieces to the puzzle, and obviously, Aaron Rodgers being who he is, I don't think it's hard for him to adjust to a new a playbook or whatnot. I mean, I feel like for him it's kind of natural for his experience that he had and stuff like that. So it's gonna be a good thing to see. Obviously, not everyone can stay with the team for so long, and obviously he just wanted the, obviously a fresh change, new change. Um, you coming out, from Dover, right? Your high school. Um, from what I've known, not much alumni is coming from that high school at all. You kind of put them on the map, right? And obviously, how did that, how did that make you feel?
It's a great feeling, Ali, and I'm glad you mentioned Dover, but it's even a little bigger than that for me. Like I wasn't one of those kids leaving high school. I wasn't highly recruited. I wasn't a guy who actually thought he was going to play in the NFL at the age of 19. Right?
Right.
I wasn't, planning my collegiate classes and my courses and my future based off of the NFL being a possibility.
Right.
So for me, coming out of Dover, going to Shippensburg, kind of being just found by sheer luck there, and being able to have an opportunity at the NFL. That was a blessing in itself. The
Right.
career that I had, I credit a lot of that to the backbone that
Right.
that was me. What came from football camps and stuff at Dover High School, at Shippensburg University, the work ethic that they instilled in me, and the never take no mentality
Right.
that we got going there. And we used to say at Shippensburg, the smaller the school, the bigger the heart, because
There you go.
we had to do a lot of stuff there without getting funds, right?
Mm.
Not many of us had scholarships, and if we did, they were only partial scholarships at that. So there was a grind to it. There was a natural grit factor that came in with coming from both a small high school and a small college, and I'm very proud to say that I went to both of them and maybe helped bring a little exposure to both of them.
And speaking of that, I mean, obviously, you're a fullback, and you're not a lot of people kind of put respect on that, right? I mean, man, fullbacks do all the dirty work, man. Like, they gotta give some respect to the damn fullback position. I mean, man, you're on the 1 yard line. I mean, man, 10 seconds left. Okay. I mean, of course, the running back can come in, but hey, man, John, you a big dude, man. So obviously they're gonna put you in and they're gonna count on you. How was though, how was though, how did that feel when they put you when the coach put you in that position? Hey man, John, go win the game for us, man.
Yeah, it's a special feeling, and I got to give a lot of credit to Mike McCarthy and Sean Payton for having the stones to do that. Quite frankly,
Right.
with all the weapons we had in Green Bay, with all the weapons we had in New Orleans, when you get down to the 1 yard line, sometimes that last yard is the hardest yard to get, and
Right.
they entrusted me, and I think it was one of those situations where if somebody puts that much trust in you, you got to prove them right. You got to
Right.
prove them right, and it's something that I wore as a badge of honor to be able to prove them right. And as it pertains to the fullback position and respect, and you're even watching it now in the NFL with the running back position, not just
Right.
fullback. You know, some people are leaning away from paying running backs, from acknowledging running backs. So it's one of those things. If you haven't touted those shoes, if you haven't lived a day in the life or a game in the life of a running back, it's a grind.
Right.
It's a grind to do what they do. It's a
Right.
battle,
Right.
and it takes a special type of athlete to be able to accomplish that. And I think the people that have been there, walked in those shoes, played those types of games, they have the respect for it, and you're seeing that now in the NFL. The running
Right.
backs are banding together to let everybody know, hey, there's a reason y'all take us first in these fantasy football leagues. There's a
Right.
reason. There's a reason why we can touch the ball 300 times in a season. We're a special type of athlete, and
Right.
we want to be respected as such.
For sure, and bro, I mean, running backs take a lot of toll on their body too. It's kind of a very kind of short-lived position. You know, and I definitely agree on that. And then, man, obviously in the last one of the last 20 years, man, you're one of the best fullbacks that really came out that really
Thank
made a name for themselves, right? Three Pro Bowls, two Super Bowl wins. First, let's start with the Super Bowls, man. I mean, it probably felt amazing. How, man, the confetti falling down. How did that feel, bro?
Yeah, it was incredible. And I'll start with my first one in Pittsburgh. I was
Right.
on the practice squad. I came through, got released at the end of training camp, was at home. I actually signed a contract to play in the Arena League with the San Jose SaberCats. So I was truly a street free agent. Talk about being on the streets there trying to find a job. And luckily, Pittsburgh found a spot for me to come back, be on the practice squad, more as a running back on the scout team. And while I was there, they wanted to teach me the fullback position. So that was a special time.
Right.
Getting to learn from a great fullback in Dan Kreider, getting to experience what a great defense looks like in that Steelers defense 2005. I'm talking Troy Polamalu,
The
Brett Casey,
dangers, the
Casey
dangers
and
group.
Hampton, Joey Porter, James Fair, James Harrison, Larry Foote. I mean, it's a tough defense,
That was a dangerous one, man. I'm telling you.
and we were a tight team. And one thing I always remember is they took me under their wing, even though I was on practice squad. They took me under their wing and they showed me the ropes. They showed me how to be a professional. And that Super Bowl was special, my rookie year, to be able to take my family out there and enjoy a Super Bowl victory, albeit from the sidelines because I didn't get to play in the game. And I think that day always set up what would come then in Super Bowl 45, where I told myself walking off the field at a Super Bowl 40, I got to do this again, but I got to do it where I'm a part of it, where I'm actually playing in it, where I'm actually making the plays, where I'm actually doing something special. So
Right.
Super Bowl 45 then was kind of the come full circle moment where everything finally came together, and I finally got that Super Bowl where I myself played a part in. And I'm very very thankful for not just the first Super Bowl but the second Super Bowl and how they tell the entire story of what was the two most pinnacle marks in my professional career.
Right. And I remember that. I mean, bro, I mean, I saw, how happy you were, man. They were putting you on the screen. And I was like, man, okay, man, look. second Super Bowl, I mean, 2 rings on your finger, man, it probably feels amazing, man. And then, Pro Bowls, bro. I mean, 3, 3 Pro Bowls. I mean, how's that? How's a Pro Bowl experience?
When you talk about the Super Bowl experience, it was great because we got to prove how great of a team we were. For me personally, coming from the small schools that we talked about, the history, the background that I had, um, there's always that thought in the back of your mind. Are you here with the players? Do you belong with the players? Are you just on a great team? And to finally break through then the year after the Super Bowl and to get my first Pro Bowl and All Pro, and then it makes you satisfied. It makes you feel
Right.
validated that the years that you're earning, the years that you're accruing, you're actually earning them, man. Now you're seen as one of the best in the game, not just by the fans, but by your peers, by the coaches, by the
Right.
scouts, and then with the all pros there, by the writers. So you,
Right.
you kind of go full circle. And it's funny because once you get that first one, now you got to prove it again. And now
Got
you
it.
got
Yep.
now you got to stamp it again and say the first time wasn't a fluke. And this
Right.
didn't happen just because somebody else got injured. This is something that I have proven. I'm one of the better fullbacks in the game. So I got to
Right.
do this again, and I got to do it again, and I got to do it again, and I got to continue
For
to come
sure.
back and prove that this accolade that I got, it wasn't a fluke.
Right. And I mean, exactly. I mean, obviously it wasn't. I mean, bro. I mean, man, whenever you used to get the ball and the whole, you know, everyone in the Green Bay would stand up and yell your last name, man. I mean, bro. I mean, I'm sure you'd feel the rumble. I mean, how was that?
It was tremendous, and it was one of the coolest experiences. I'll say it like this: I had a buddy, a teammate of mine, Chris Banjo, came down to New Orleans when I was down there also, and Chris ended up playing a long time in the league, I think 10, 11 years. But I'll never forget down there in New Orleans, he used to tell the story of what it was like to be at Lambeau Field when I
Wow.
would touch the football, and that's when it first struck me. It's like, man, it was always great for me. It was always
Right.
cool for me because anytime the fans show appreciation or
Right.
cheer for you personally, it's a great feeling.
Right.
But the fact that it touched some of my other teammates, the fact that they got excited over it, the fact that they enjoyed that as well, is when it really stood out to me as, man, this was something special that myself and my family got, and even my wife and my kids, the fact that they got to experience it live and in
Experience.
person
Yep.
themselves, truly a blessing and something that I've never taken for granted.
For sure. And John, I mean, you know, obviously, playing for 3 different teams, and obviously, I'm sure Green Bay is the one that touches your heart the most.
Yes. Now, I can honestly say I was blessed to play for three incredible franchises. The
Right.
Pittsburgh Steelers, what a place to come into. The Rooney family have done such an incredible job with that organization,
And
and
you
from
being
top
from Pennsylvania.
being from Pennsylvania, top to bottom, to get my start there, not have to be too far away from home, but really have the stability that is the Pittsburgh Steelers. You're talking about an organization with all these Super Bowl championships, 6 Super Bowl championships, a head coach that has been there forever, and Mike Tomlin, and before that, forever, and Bill Cowher. Before that, forever, and Chuck Noll. So just the stability and the comfort of learning in a place that does everything the right way.
Exactly.
Then to go to Green Bay and have a team that doesn't have an owner that
Right.
pours everything back into the organization with the players and the coaches and really is community is what makes Green Bay the best. The fans are what make Green Bay the best is because they play a big part in what is the Green Bay Packers. And then to finish my career down in New Orleans with the Benson family and the New Orleans Saints, Sean Payton, and kind of being able to see you don't have to do things one certain way in the NFL.
Right.
After you spend 10 years with one team like I did with Green Bay, you get an opportunity to see what it's like somewhere else. And it was
Right.
truly a blessing to get that last little stint with New Orleans and just see there's more than one way to skin a cat, and truly a blessing down there in New Orleans as well.
Exactly. And John, obviously, you and me being good friends. I already know what you do now. Tell the viewers that what's John doing nowadays.
Well, besides not fielding phone calls that are going in the background here, excuse me for that one.
You
But
know, problem.
I work the broadcast for the Green Bay Packers now. My family and I, we stayed in Wisconsin, and we love Northeast Wisconsin. And we lived here for 10 years, starting in 2007, before I was finished playing football. So we decided to stay, and I call the games for the Packers. I work the sidelines in the regular season. I'm blessed to sit alongside Kevin Harlan and do the preseason games in the booth with him, and it's a tremendous amount of fun. And I've taken that and piggybacked that into a daily radio show called 9 to Noon out of Milwaukee. And we're statewide, but you can stream us, find us on the iHeartMedia app at 9, the number 2 noon. And we just have a fun time talking Wisconsin sports, everything professional sports, and a little bit of shenanigans in between.
Definitely. My boy John. Now, a little offside question. Because you're a runner. Super Bowl, 1 yard line. I had to ask you. Russell Wilson just needed 1 yard. Could have gave the ball to Lynch. Won the Super Bowl, but they had that play. What's your feedback on that?
I think it's one of the biggest fails in Super Bowl history. Between that and the Atlanta Falcons not being able to keep a 28-3 lead or whatever it might have been. I believe that's what the lead. Those two, I believe, will go down as the two biggest fails. And funny enough, that the man they call the GOAT was the benefactor or the beneficiary of both those blunders. But I think not handing the ball to Marshawn Lynch on the 1 yard line in that Super Bowl will go down as one of the biggest blunders in NFL history.
I agree. I definitely agree. Now, John, obviously, this being a fantasy league and a fantasy podcast, I know you somewhat do play fantasy or did so in the past. Um, what are your top three wide receiver rankings at the moment?
Oh, for this football season. All right. So I'm going to take, well, shoot, that's tough. I got three sure things and then a wild card that I throw in there.
Oh yeah.
Short things I'm going with. I'm going to go with Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, and then Devontae Adams.
Okay.
And I would do it in that order.
Okay.
And then the wild card that I think is not so wild, but one that people wouldn't necessarily say in their top 5 wide receivers. But I wouldn't be surprised if he's one that is a top 5 wide receiver this year in fantasy football points. And that would be Garrett Wilson out of New York
There you
with
go.
Aaron Rodgers.
With your boy.
Already a lot of comparisons to Devontae Adams. And,
Right.
Aaron loved to feed Devontae the pill. So would not be surprised if he has an absolute monster year this year.
Definitely. I definitely agree on that. And that being said, the thing that you are specialized in, the running backs, with all the stuff that's going on with the whole, payment issues and contract issues, with all that in play, who would be your top three right now for this year?
Well, I'm going to go Nick Chubb because
Definitely.
he's been so incredible and durable. I'm going to go with Jonathan Taylor,
Okay.
mostly because there's no uncertainty with either of their contracts right there.
Right.
And then I'm going to say my boy Aaron Jones here in Green
There we
Bay.
go.
I
There we
think
go.
the running backs in Green Bay are going to get the ball a lot, and
Right.
Aaron Jones is one of my favorite to watch around the league.
Hey, I'm sure, man. Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon, man. I'm sure you love to see that, man.
It's a
I
great
mean,
1-2 punch, baby. It's a
you
great
got a
1-2
great,
punch.
you got a amazing view, man. On Sundays, you will definitely have an amazing view, man. Hey, John, I appreciate you, coming on my podcast and sharing your thoughts and a lot of say on things, man. And I'll definitely bring you back on. I'll call you back up and text you and have you back on the show later on the season.
Sounds good. Thanks, Ali. Always fun catching up with you.
Appreciate it, man. Take care, guys. And people, go follow him on Twitter and go check his podcast out as well. As of now, I'll see you guys soon and more podcasts to come. Take care, guys.